Hey, today we're talking about the legacy and how it breaks from structural breakdown. So let's start with the fun stuff. Okay, I'm a big advocate. I'm going to make the case once more. Pumping it 5 times when it's 15 yards and under. I like the big heavy pellets, the Piranha, once I squared away the accuracy of this gun. So those are big heavy pellets, hard hitting hollow points. They are great even at relatively lower velocities, but they are definitely coming in fast enough on a basic hard target test. This soup can is punching through that. And again, this type of testing that young people, new people can do has never failed me in the field. If a gun can do this at the range, in this case 15 yards, it works for me every time in the field. Now, this legacy is dialed in at 12 meters. So what I learned is that when I put the sight right here, just a few yards back at 15 yards, it hit just above it and cracked it. So now what did I do? Did I change the sights, pump it up? No, I just raised the front sight, didn't change the sights, didn't pump it anymore, and started just shooting through this thing and beating this can up really nicely, with the most impressive hit being right there. It's a little low, but it would have been a hit in the field, and it just gashed a huge entry hole there, and then the exit hole, just huge, very nice. Okay, so now let's get to what happens when people. Okay, now I said 5 pumps. So what happens when people pump it more than that? That's when we end up with things breaking. Now this is a barrel assembly from a 760 I got from the sporting goods store years ago. Unfortunately, those kids there really beat this thing up to the point of no return. So I got it. It was shooting all over the place. My Red Ryder was out shooting it. And I was like, what is going on? So I took it into the gun shop, and one of the workers put it on a gun pad, and he literally just did this with his forefinger and thumb and said, you got the Crosman wiggle, because he understands what that is. These pegs here, these retaining pieces here and here, had buckled loose. And that's from people being rough with the gun, handling it like this, and that can happen to your legacy too. And just getting rough and throwing it around, but definitely grabbing it up high turns it into a crowbar effect on this. So now let's take a look at the diagram here. Okay, so that is right there. So barrel support, barrel holder, number 22, it plugs into your breech right there. And it has the peg right here. It's very similar to what I just showed you. Okay, and then those each anchor in the receiver here and here. Okay, so again, so the barrel holder right there. Okay, so now let's be sensitive here. I never want to start trouble with other channels or anything. There's great channels out there. This is more of an engineering channel. There's great channels that concentrate on shooting these things and getting you to be a good shot with them. And so if you want optics on this, I understand there's reasons to do that, sometimes important reasons. As a matter of honor, I'm going with the hard sights at 15 yards and under, and it's less complication, okay? Because I can hold it here while I'm pumping. And as I described before, use the bolt cutter method, which Crosman would prefer you do if you can. Now, if you have an optic on there, you can't. So the channels that properly show you holding it here and only pumping from one side, meaning, okay, you're stiff right here and you only pump from this side. It's harder on the gun and harder on you, but let me make it clear. If you're a big, strong man, then you're fluid right here with the pump, and you're okay. If you are not that strong, it puts stress on you and stress on the gun, and things can start to buckle. Okay, remember, this is a piece of plastic back here in between two receivers, and then, as I've shown, this anchoring point can start to buckle. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this. You have the two anchor points here, very similar to that on each side of this receiver. So each side of this, okay? And then on the bottom you have the transport hole, and the transport hole is for the valve. We'll bring the valve in real quickly. So, and that goes right here, let me see here, right there. And then you pull the trigger and shoot. The air comes up through into there. Okay, but the other two pegs act as retaining pegs. Okay, they lock it down, and it works if you don't rough it up. So there's the two ways, obviously getting rough with the gun, period, grabbing it by the barrel and getting rough with it, and putting too many pumps on. We're going to say 10 pumps or more, especially if you have optics on it, it can cause it to start to break down. So my message to you here is just, if you're going to have a scope on it and you're only going to pump from one side like this, just think carefully about how many pumps you want on the gun. I know the gun shop owner made it clear he wants people to go with economy of force, test, like I have on this can, what will work for you in the field. So I'm going to say you shouldn't need any more than 8 pumps, like Alfred in Georgia has shown. And yeah, otherwise, if you can go without the optics, try it, because that allows you to hold it here and pump like this. Okay, thank you. And like I said, the point of the video is just make sure your gun goes as long as it possibly can before you have to repair it. All right, thank you.